All right, let's see what we got. We got the Day of 7 gift. Oh man, this goes back. Oh man, this is like a full thing. All right, here we go, lots of stuff. Day 7 gift means we're getting 1,000 crystals today. We've got the event going on, which we already know about. We'll go check this out. We get Risen Otter. Nailed it. Reduces Earth Resist. That's cool. Nice to have another free option for Earth Resist down. That's cool. 46 magic attack. I assume this is going to be magic attack Earth potency then. So that'll be fun. Escalation challenge. I am interested in this. I think this is going to be fun. Escalation medals to exchange them for premium draw tickets is crazy. We'll definitely take a look at that. We've got the new Singularity Tower. This is going to be a bit of a longer stream. We're going to be here for a while. So the first thing we're going to do is that looks rad. All right, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to check out the banner, and then we're going to check out everything else, including the new roles, the new features, regulations regarding data leaks. Final Fantasy VII Never Crisis prohibits the analysis of game data in accordance with the user agreement, analyzing and disclosing information that cannot be attained. This is about data miners. Uh-oh. I think the data miners are getting in trouble here. Yeah, that's what it reads like. So that's probably from people like sharing the data mined information on YouTube. I think that's probably how that got caught. Addition of new effect, amp. While in an amplified state, relevant C/UC abilities will deal more damage once. After a relevant ability is used, the state will be canceled immediately. Interesting. So it's kind of like the exploit weakness, but it's just a one-time thing. Interesting. Okay, we'll have to take a look at that.
Oh my God.
This is not going to help the Gooner allegations. I'm just saying. Hello? Look at these two! Are you kidding? I want to see the other stuff. Let's go to the growth. Let's go to a new role stream has been added. Tap the button in the bottom left of the character stream to switch streams. In role streams, you can acquire new overspeeds. You can also unlock nodes to improve various stats, okay? New overspeeds can be acquired by clearing unlocked missions. Only one mission can be attempted per character at a time. That makes sense. So it's basically the same thing as the limit breaks. Okay. Attacker tuning. So, okay. So in order to... Okay, so this is already active. Let's see. Just have to use stamina, solo, co-op, deliver memories. This is easy. It looks like there's different crystals, by the way. Oh, I see. So once this is active, this unlocks the overspeed. I see. And then everything else is stats. All right, that's cool. That's cool. So you can level this up a whole bunch. And then as you're leveling it up, it gets a whole bunch of different short no charge. That's the overcharge ability. And then as you level this up, the duration increases. Or it gets new effects, maybe. It gets new effects. So every time you level this up, it gets another effect. Interesting. All right, cool. Yeah, this is cool. Well, obviously, I assume these are under premium quest or something. We'll have to take a peek and figure out where these actually come from. Attackers rule stream nodes. It doesn't actually say where they come from. Mithril ore for premium quest. That's a big deal. They're not gonna make it like exchange shop stuff, right? Oh man. Oh, you have to clear EX Battle 1 with in the solo event. Okay, that's fine. And then we'll check that out as well. All right, let's go back to claiming this stuff while I just use my brain here. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of a bummer. I guess they're trying to limit how quickly people can actually like use those, because the only reason I don't like it is because they added this new fun feature, right? And like your immediate reaction is, okay, I'm gonna use this new fun feature on this character that I really like using, right? But then like if you use that and then you don't get to use that character on something like a battle ranking event or on a battle tower or on a dungeon ranking or on a guild battle or on a max battle challenge, you know what I mean? Like, so now you're kind of incentivized to save it, and that kind of sucks, because then you don't just get to like play the game. Like, I get it. Again, I get it. They don't want people to just go grind it out immediately and then the strong get stronger and new players are stuck like nipping at the heels, right? So I get that they needed to have some level of restraint, but locking it behind just the events, I feel like is going to be a tough pill to swallow. Because then it also doesn't help that the folks that miss the event just lose out on power now, right? Maelstrom Tower. Let's jump into the Maelstrom Tower really quickly just to take a look. I know, again, I'm sorry, I'm jumping all over the place. There's just so much to look at here. There are weapon vouchers here. 100 floors. They sure did. Yeah, there's limit break weapons in this. Okay, yeah, that matters. Okay. Well, I mentioned this before, but obviously I remain the same. I still think White Dog is the strongest of the limit break weapons. But the fact that you go, when you clear these Maelstrom Tower stuff, that you end up getting one of those is really, really good. Really, really good. All right, so really quickly, just checking through the, oh, they did update this. Okay, so they updated the healing one at least. So they probably updated all of these. I'll tell you right now, for the healing one, Centipede is definitely still the obvious choice. Pilot's Collar is also an obvious choice. Those two weapons are so much farther and away better than the other 4 weapons here. I would not choose any other of those 4 weapons besides these two. These 2 weapons are insanely good. These are both AoE heals that give defensive abilities while also having really great R abilities and really great materia slots. So these are auto picks for me. Both of these weapons are. For fire, Shell Knuckles is the best fire damage weapon in the game. Holiday Garm is also very good. Luminary Sword, these are all good. Gold Megaphone is the worst, and it's not even bad. Like, it's not even bad. Like, this is still a fine weapon, but this is the worst of the 6. The rest of these are all really strong. So this is a preference thing to me. All of these are really, really good. If you want to get Vincent's weapon, you can convince me, right? Still really, really strong. Shell Knuckles is obviously the strongest magic fire damage weapon in the game, still. So nothing wrong with that. Stride Moogle Float, also very good. AoE attack that increases fire damage for Yuffie. Really strong with her exploit weakness crossover weapon, the rebirth weapon. Luminary Sword gives fire damage up to your entire team, which is really strong. Holiday Garm, really strong physical fire attack. All of those are really good. Ice Voucher. Ooh, Ivy Collar's in here. Interesting. Interesting. So the only one that I wouldn't pull here is this is the worst of the 6, but it's still good. Like, it's still good. It does fine enough. And if you like Tifa, like, this is fine. But Little Red Wreath is the strongest ice weapon in the game right now. Very, very strong. Both Citric Wand and Scimitar are great ice damage buff weapons that are really, really strong. So either one of those is good. I really like Pressure Ridge as an ice debuffing weapon. Does really good damage with really great R abilities. Very strong. I like Ivy Collar as well because it does fire and ice resist, while also having decent sub R abilities and good materia slots for doing damage, which is nice because Red doesn't have a lot of damage options. If I had to prioritize something here, it'd probably be Little Red Wreath. Little Red Wreath is just a really strong weapon, just in general, so hard not to pick that. And then whichever one of the buffing or debuffing weapons that you want. Both of the buff weapons and both of the debuffing weapons are both very good. Next. The bottom 3 are the answer here. The top 3 weapons are still fine. This has actually been the most outclassed of the weapons that are in this list. Still does 750% damage, which is not bad. It's still strong. It still clears most of the Leviathan fights. I think the only thing that I had trouble with was one of the EX fights. I don't remember if it was EX1 or EX2. But this still clears the EX fights relatively easily. Thunderbird is still a very good magic defense decrease. The only thing that I have an issue with is that it's a you have to use it twice. Not a huge deal though, because if they're lightning weak, you're probably using this anyways. So it doesn't really matter that it has to be used twice. But there are other weapons that lower magic defense to high right off the rip that don't involve, multiple cast. Other than that, though, it has great R ability, so it makes for a good sub-weapon with 62 magic attack and 39 lightning potency. Not a bad weapon at all. Electro Cannon, I've said this before, I'll say it again. Still think this is probably one of the best weapons in the game that's not limited. So food for thought on that end. Lowers all of the enemy's physical attack and magic attack, so it's just a really good weapon for Barret in general. But it also has 2 of the best sets of R abilities for magic damage dealers in the entire game. So really, really strong weapon. I do like Electro Cannon a lot. These bottom 3 weapons are all ridiculously good. Witch's Broom is a very strong debuffing lightning resist debuffing weapon. It's a 3 ATB debuffing weapon that does high right off the rip at OB6 and higher, and also does a magic defense decrease as well. with good R abilities, good materia slots, really strong debuffing weapon. Crow Familiar is currently the strongest lightning damage weapon in the game, so this is also very strong. And then Nautilus Spiral is also a really good 3 ATB debuffing weapon that also debuffs lightning and ice while having really great R abilities and fantastic materia slots. So this is an excellent weapon, and Diamond Sigil Break on top of it. This is one of the best debuffing weapons in the game. All three of these are very good. I don't think there's a problem with picking any of these three in general. You could convince me on Electro Cannon if you really wanted to. Thunderbird and Murasame, they'd probably have at the bottom, but like I don't think that that means that they're bad. They're good options, but just not as good as the others. Water. Both Tifa options, so that's nice. This is a water debuffing weapon. This is just a water damage weapon. Serpent Eater's an absolutely not. No reason to pull this. This is a physical damage water weapon with a higher magic attack stat. Do not pick this one. I have no idea why this is even here. The two Tifa weapons are obviously very good paired together. Tempest is also very good. Shark Slayer is also incredibly good, much like Nautilus Spiral. Basically the same exact thing, right? Good R abilities, good materia slots. Diamond Sigil Break, 3 ATB, very strong. Green Megaphone also pretty good, very similar to the Pressure Ridge. Does water damage at 620% while also giving a high water debuff with good R abilities, good materia slots, very good. Nothing wrong with that. In terms of priority here, if you don't have Tifa's water stuff maxed out, she's one of the best water damage dealers in the game. Outside of limited banners, I think are the only ones that have exceeded Tifa's water damage at this point. So if you don't have any of the limited water options, the Tifa Bunny Gloves, Feathered Gloves combo still remains one of the best water damage combos in the game. So still really strong there. In terms of wind, it's just Holiday Blade and Holiday Bell here. These are both very strong. You could sell me on Partisan because it's a really good sub weapon for Magic Wind. So if you've got Holiday Blade and Holiday Bell maxed out already, I could see you going Partisan instead. The other three are decent. Obviously, we talked about Shinra Military Sword when we talked about the Sephiroth banner. The short barrel is a sneakily good weapon that I think many people don't even use. At OB10, it does up to 1200% damage, which is the highest elemental damage in the game by not a lot, but enough. You do have to be at full HP to get that, but that does mean that like right off the rip, Vincent can hit for a 1200% physical wind damage attack. That's pretty good. So it's definitely not a bad weapon by any stretch, but it's not a bad weapon at all. But these are the three for sure. Holiday Blade and Holiday Bell are the obvious choices for me, but Partisan's also in there as well. Weapon Voucher Earth. It's probably going to be Blue Bramble here. Kugel Blitz is also really good, only if you have White Dog for Vincent. If you do not have the Earth weapon for Vincent, this is useless to you until you pull it. So don't bother prioritizing this in any capacity. The only reason it's good, quote unquote, is because at OB6 it gets a magic defense high debuff for all enemies, which is nice. So at least bare minimum it does that for you. But until you have the reason to use the Earth damage debuff, or I'm sorry, the Earth damage buff, I would not be using this weapon. I wouldn't even prioritize this at all. Both of the Earth weapons for Angeal are fine. Much like the Vincent one, it does up to 1200% physical damage, but it does it off of lower HP, which is difficult to reach because neither one of these weapons actually does provoke. So there's no way to guarantee that Angeal's taking this damage. And this is the weapon that he would use because it also does Earth resist. So it makes it a little difficult to guarantee that he'll be at that low HP to do those high Earth damage attacks. Pretty nichey. It's still fun, but I think if you're prioritizing something, it's just Blue Bramble and Kugel Blitz for me. Hawkeye and Jiggy Fam. Hawkeye is fine. It does well enough. 850% and an extra 20% buff. This is still very good. So even in today's meta, where it's normally 940 times 20%, 850 times 20 is still very good, right? That's not very far behind. So nothing to sneeze at all. Jiggy Fam is just useless. It's a decent sub weapon because of the R abilities. I don't see a reason why you would ever use this on Glenn, and the stats are really low, right? So you would have to brand this with magic attack, which is not impossible. You can just brand it with magic attack and that would supplement it. So if you need it, take it. but I would take every single option over this. And if you were considering taking Jiggy Fam, I would tell you to take this ticket instead. And finally, the Limit Break weapon voucher. Like I mentioned before, White Dog is the obvious choice for me. I think if you're picking the Earth weapon and you want to pick Kugel Blitz, you have to pick White Dog. Before I get into the nitty gritty though, if there's any of these weapons that you don't have a copy of, prioritize that first, right? Prioritize that first. Having one copy of each of these gives your team a level of damage that you don't have right now, because these weapons give all ally effects, and you only need one copy at level 120 to get the maximum amount that you're ever gonna need from this all ally effect. If you max this out at OB10 and you put this as a substat weapon, right? You give it to a sub weapon, you just want physical attack all allies. Whenever you put it in an offhand or as a sub weapon, you're only getting half of the R abilities. At 46 points, you divide that in half, it gives you 23, which does not reach the level 4 break, which gets you 15 points. At OB0, at level 120, it gives you 30 points for physical attack all allies, which is still level 3. It's irrelevant. You don't have to pull a ton of these. You don't have to actually have an OB10. It's great to have it at higher overboost levels for the characters that actually use them, because that's when you start to see these breaks, right? But if you're only using it as a sub weapon, you only need one copy. You don't need to go hard in the paint unless it's a weapon you absolutely want to have, right? So that's out of the way. Make sure you have at least one copy because they're good for that reason and that reason alone. In terms of where I would prioritize, White Dog is first, Tranquility is second, Stream Slasher is third, followed closely by Stream Saber, then Protector's Blade, then Stream Guard as a far and away lowest. This one does the same amount as Yuffie's Hawkeye does, and Tifa's Shell Knuckles just does more damage than this, just outright. And this is a limited weapon, so I would not pull for this in the slightest. The Stream Saber has only been outclassed by Glenn, who just had a ice weapon called the Blade of Ruin release that does 940% damage. It's only 40% more damage. It does not get an extra boost on top of that. And Glenn does not have exploit weakness or ice damage up himself to like amplify that damage higher than what Cloud does. So it just does a measly 40% more. It's not that big of a deal. It's not a huge difference at the end of the day. Cloud and Glenn do close to the same amount of damage. Still pretty good. I still value this higher than the Protector Blade, which is just a weaker AoE non-elemental attack, right? Even Sephiroth's current weapon that's in the banner right now does more damage than this. The only reason why it's good is because it gives magic attack all allies and magic ability potency, which is still very good. Both of these R abilities are still nice to have, but other than that, this effect is just okay. Obviously it has been power crept for the most part. It's not weak, it's not bad. None of these weapons are weak, they're all fine. But when you compare them to each other, it's just easy to say that this is number 5, this is number 6, and I would pull all 4 of these weapons before that one by a wide margin. The reason why I have Stream Slasher above the Stream Saber is because Glenn's water damage with his water damage offhand weapon Slay the Day actually does almost as much as Yuffie's most recently released water damage weapon with exploit weakness. That will obviously change once we get a weapon that increases water damage on individual characters. So that means that Yuffie will have exploit weakness plus water damage up, and then her damage will be higher than Glenn's. Until that happens though, Glenn is still just as strong as she is. So still very good at this moment. Even when that happens, she's not going to be like leagues ahead of him, but still pretty good. And then obviously Tranquility is just a really good weapon. Provoke, Veil, on top of doing really respectable water damage, physical attack on allies, just a good weapon. Very, very good. And that's it in terms of the in terms of what I would prioritize here. These are usually really easy. I would just go into this with a party that has those flat damage all enemies. Yeah, and if memory serves, these guys do not have a ton of HP. So what I'll do just to confirm, if Tifa's weapon takes them out, then that means the Umbral Blade will, the free weapon that they just gave us, and you can just use that to clear through like all of this. Yeah. So just upgrade that Umbral Blade weapon to OB10. You should blow through the first few floors of this. I think each of these give 100 crystals too. Yeah, they give 100 crystals each. So, all right, escalation challenge, escalation medals. Clear the trial to unlock the escalation challenge. Take on bosses that get stronger each time you clear a level. There are even higher escalation levels to get luxurious rewards. This is another place where you can get the overclock. Is that what it's called? The overclock. The roll crystals. Escalation medals to exchange them for premium crystals, as well as branding stones. Odin's obviously weak to physical wind abilities, or physical earth abilities rather, sorry. Let's see what the exchange shop looks like. Oh, interesting. Okay, so this update's on 6/11 is the next update. So we've got 3 months to get everything that's in this. Only 5, so this is 10, 20, right? 20 premium draw tickets. That's 2 full pulls on a banner. So yeah, this is absolutely worth doing. I guess how strong is this? Am I gonna need to switch my party up at all? I don't really have physical earth damage. I'll be honest. Whatever Hawkeye's at, that's pretty much it. I'm sorry, is that Sentetsuken? Sick? That was rad. Hey, you stop, that's fine. Oh, fire earth. Oh, never mind. I can do shit. Weak. Recycling here. There's that Hetsugun skill here. Looks cool as hell though. This is probably gonna do more damage. I full healed those, we should be fine. Yeah, we're fine. Yeah, we're fine. It's done. The YY Tog isn't even OB6, so that's not a terribly difficult fight there. That should be relatively easy. Especially if you actually use physical earth damage. That shouldn't be too bad at all. 20 mithril ore. All right, so we cleared that, and then that unlocks the escalation challenge. Series of quests to test your limit. The higher the escalation level, the higher the enemy stats. Take on the challenge to see how far you can go. Select any of the escalation levels that are unlocked to begin your challenge. Clearing a level will unlock all preceding levels. Clearing certain levels will unlock even higher levels. Okay, so I can go up to 5, and that would give me 550 crystals, 100 of the metals. Did they time gate this? You have to clear level 5 first. Okay. All right, let's give it a go. This is level 5 escalation challenge Odin. I imagine you're gonna need physical defense or physical attackers here, and I don't think this will be something we can clear, but we're gonna try. Yeah, I wonder if I'll survive without a defense buff here. Need surgery on both angles? Dang, that sucks. Oh, that's still weak. I'm sorry to hear that, Chelsea. That sucks. This is still a really easy fight. This feels the exact same as the fight we just did. We actually survived this. I have reprieve even if we don't. The good news though is at least you've got an answer, right? That's good to know. You don't have to walk around wondering if what it is or isn't, which is nice. That was really easy. I'll be honest with y'all. That was not a difficult fight at all. I know my builds are pretty strong, but that was not difficult at all. That was pretty easy. There are people out there that have much better setups than I do. You will clear that easily. Easily. Yeah, I'm sure it will be worth it. I'm sure it will be worth it. Oh, that's right. I put a merch brand or a merch thing on there. Ooh, you get 5-star materials? 5%. That's before you upgrade it. That's really good. What the hell? Yeah, 5% is really high. I mean, shoot, we're here. We may as well try it. Oh, I really wish she wouldn't have done that. All right, well, we're gonna see if we can survive this without a defense buff. Yeah, I don't blame you. It's still pretty weak. That didn't work, huh? Lightning Sphere. This is a little bit closer. Uh-oh. I used that off of defense mode, so it's not gonna work. I should have used Kira there. Aerith might die here. No, she didn't. Great. Now we're just good to go. Just DPS race this. Fine. She can still die. Boop. Yeah, that wasn't too bad at all. That was pretty easy. That was pretty easy. And now we can go upgrade those materials and see what they turn into. Which is cool. Oh, never mind. This keeps going, huh? Hey, how long does this go for? Hey, this is a lot. Hey, now we get ingots, though. Now we're talking. Yeah, see, this is gonna be crazy. That's basically a free pull. On an actual banner with stamps, too. Gatekeeper, fun. I want that title so bad. But yeah, so that's fairly easy. Like I said, the fight itself, if you go with physical earth, you'll have a much easier time with this escalation challenge than I'm having. Not that I'm struggling by any stretch, but if you have physical earth damage, you'll do pretty well. All right, let's update this Quake and see what it gets. All right, come on, magic attack. No. Not the flat HP. Don't upgrade the flat HP again, please. I'm begging you. Do magic defense or something. No. Okay, no, that's good. That's really good. Yeah, 5% is high enough, and 7% is a huge boost. This is way better than the materials that we got for Final Fantasy VI. Way better. Yeah, that rolled like hell. I can't believe it upgraded HP twice. But that upgrade on magic attack and earth potency was huge. Yeah, that's much better than the materials that we got for Final Fantasy VI for sure. All right, Quake Blow, I need you to roll a little bit better here. There you go. There you go. This one's gonna roll better. Watch it only upgrade HP again. Holy f, 11%. That's really good. That's really good. Yeah, 11%'s pretty high. That's pretty good. Not gonna complain about that. Yeah, that's pretty good. I think the highest percentage that I've gotten, I think, was on this magic attack one. I got 10.6. Was the highest I'd gotten before. I don't think any of the other percentages had rolled that high. I got 10.9 in physical attack. Never mind, I lied.